On Thursday and Friday last week, we brought you a story of how a mini crisis is brewing in India's financial markets, and that is in the foreign exchange markets. With the currency swaps reaching an all-time high, financial innovation may have led to some of the biggest losses for Indian corporates, largely the mid-sized companies who have no idea how to hedge when foreign currency movements go the other way. Now it seems, as NDTV finds out in this exclusive report, that there could be court cases where companies are trying their best to nullify the contracts that they sign with the banks or authorizing their CFOs to enter into such a deal. It looks like it is going to be an ongoing battle of court cases between banks and their corporate clients.
The fear of mounting losses in exotic forex derivative products may now push many companies to head to the courts. Following reports of possible forex losses, many companies are scanning through their forex agreements with banks to see if these agreements are legally enforceable and if they can avoid losses on their balance sheets. NDTV has learned that a number of mid-sized corporates have already started litigation related to such forex derivative contracts. Many of these companies have filed suits to get these contracts declared as illegal and unenforceable. Others are alleging that banks have a conflict of interest since they are both the advisor and party to the contract itself. And in some cases, companies are even looking at criminal complaints against treasury officials who may not have been authorized to do such deals. While bankers say the contracts are airtight and do not allow corporates to go back on payment obligations, experts say there is enough room for corporates to question banks, especially since many banks have not followed appropriate due diligence processes on these deals.
If there is a certain loss event that has occurred, who has the capability to bear and how much and when? And that is where the discussion will probably happen between banks and their customers to say, how do we settle this as two reasonable corporates, because ultimately both are running a business. They see a longer term relationship and will settle that accordingly. If they can't, they will obviously go into the dispute resolution mechanism that they have set out as part of that contract.
While the role of banks in pushing complex forex derivatives is being questioned, corporates are not without blame in this potential crisis related to forex losses. A recent survey conducted by Ernst & Young found that 44% of the companies surveyed were using exotic forex derivative products which involve complex currency swaps. 35% have resorted to opportunistic hedging when may not have been related to underlying forex exposures. At the same time, only 32% of the companies took board approval before entering into these complex transactions, and the same amount reviewed their strategy using treasury risk specialists. It's this ad hoc policy towards forex transactions that could now leave many mid-sized corporates with heavy treasury losses. A report by brokerage house CLSA also says that a large number of mid-sized corporates may be hiding significant mark-to-market losses on forex derivative positions. But for now, both corporates and banks are sweeping these losses under the carpet thanks to the lax accounting policy on forex derivatives.
The reality was the same as the basis on which these principles were defined. It would probably be fair to continue in that manner. But the point is, are we really doing that reality check at periodic points of time? Are companies really evaluating whether the underlying and their contract are moving in compensating directions and quantum? And that is the piece which today is missing in this whole puzzle.
As the fear of forex losses mount, corporates and even banks seem to be trying hard to cover up some of these losses. Some deals are being restructured to push back any eventual losses. Others are being renegotiated in the form of loans so that corporates do not default on their payouts. And still others are being litigated to see who will be eventually held responsible for the payout. But until the regulators step in and offer some clarity on the management and the accounting of forex exposures, the problem may continue to lurk in the backdrop. In Mumbai, Ira Dugal for NDTV.